Okay, welcome everyone. And I will be talking to y'all on the other side uh, of the music. So y'all hold tight.
That's right. We're on live. We're gonna get this. That's right. We're on live. We're gonna get this thing done one way or another. What's up to y'all? That's right. We're on live. We're gonna get this thing done one way or another. What's up to y'all?
All right. Finally got it together. Welcome to Third Eye Visions, where we motivate the blind, stimulate your mind, and welcome all kinds. The music that you hear in the background has been provided by my man Jeff Wayne. I hope y'all can hear it. If not, I'll turn it up for y'all. But he is an aspiring uh, entertainer, and I guess if y'all looking for some beats and whatnot, he could hook it up for y'all. But that's my man Jeff Wayne. I'm gonna let it ride for a minute, and in the process, I will be talking to my man D on the other side. So let me get to the situation at hand. It's a very emotional story that we're going to be talking about. He has a guide dog that he has become attached to. It has been dealing with for 7 years. But anyway, here we go. Welcome to Third Eye Visions, where we motivate the blind, stimulate your mind, and welcome all kind. Today, I am speaking with a regular. He's a regular who's experiencing something different today. And the topic is my guide dog retirement plan plus getting my new next guide dog, and in the process feeling emotional. Nice. Please hit the notification bell for all you new subscribers and y'all old heads. I want to thank you all for subscribing and staying with me and making this channel a success. Small YouTuber. Make sure to like, comment, and most of all, share the video because it's the only way that everybody can hear about it. But stay tuned because, as you know, becoming emotionally attached to an animal can really be hard when it's time to give it up, whether it's a guide dog or any type of dog. I had a Rottweiler, man. I had became very attached to that dog. When he passed away, I was heartbroken. He had heartworms. And we're going to be talking with Demitrious, and he's going to be explaining to us what's going on in his life. But before we jump into that, I want to say happy birthday to my girl. She's been on the show before. Joe Elizabeth. I'm sorry. Joe Elizabeth, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. So, with all that out of the way, I'm going to bring on my man Demitrious and allow you to get to know him even more. So, like I said, he's been on here, and I appreciate him coming at a very short notice. But nevertheless, hopefully, by talking about what's going down, it can help him get over the situation. Not get over it totally, but at least talking about it definitely helps. So, with that being said, Demetrius, step to the stage and just briefly tell everybody who you are, and we're gonna get into the subject.
Hey everybody, good afternoon. My name is Demitrious, and y'all can follow me on Facebook, first and last name Demitrious, Dimitrios, Kounaris, Kouniaris. Originally from New Orleans, Louisiana, but my family they're from Greece, so I can speak English and Greek. That's a little bit. 29. Have a guy. Well, Miss Marge is in the process of retirement. She's 9 years old, working for about 7.5 years.
Okay.
And I got her from GDB, Guide Dogs to the Blind, at the Oregon campus. There's two of them. I went to the Oregon campus.
Okay. Now, before we jump into that, and I know that's basically your heart. Uh, you know, I didn't know you were. I didn't know you. You know, all the while I thought you were. Uh, so yeah, so that definitely is a surprise to me. I didn't know that you were Greek. But you say you can speak some Greek? We're gonna relax and talk for a while. You can speak some Greek words.
Oh yeah.
All right. Well, tell the people in Greece, welcome to Third Eye Visions,
All right. Καλώς ήρθατε στο πρόγραμμα Third Eye Vision.
where we motivate the blind,
Που εμείς κάνουμε motivate τους τυφλούς
stimulate your mind,
και ανοίγουμε τα μυαλά
and welcome all kind.
και εμείς καλωρίζουμε όλους.
Okay. Now, you could have said something different. I don't know because I don't speak Greece, but I'm taking it at your word.
No, I translated.
Okay, cool. That'll work. There. See, I'm getting some laughs out of you because I know this is a very emotional time. So
Yeah.
we're gonna be talking about guide dogs. Now, I don't have a guide dog, but I'm quite sure there are a lot of individuals out here who are visually impaired. Great percentage of them depend on guide dogs for travel and whatnot. So briefly, just take 1 minute out of your time and tell everybody what basically purposes your guide dog has served for you.
Well, the purpose of my god dog, what she's done for me, said where to start, man, because she was a rocket. That's what I called my little rocket. If I had to choose one, it's getting me to be a way more confident, outgoing traveler, and to really get me to put myself out there as far as like, exploration. And like that was one thing that she did because of. I mean, it's all because of her. It ain't because of me. My god dog instructor said that I worked hard in class and I did that, and that's all true. But I don't give myself credit, man. I give it to the school and to the puppy raisers because they raised a dog, man. And the purpose fits what I'm saying. Whatever we went to, she was just awake, wagging her tail, ready to go.
Now, why do you think most people would prefer a guide dog as opposed to a cane or any other forms of any other forms that they use when traveling? Why purchase? Why did you purchase a guide dog? Because most people say, well, if you get a guide dog, you're not as dependent or independent and what have you. What talk
I
to
actually disagree with that. So I think having goods I think a cane or a dog doesn't make you better traveler. I think knowing how to use both effectively and efficiently makes you a better traveler. So I want to start that to get that out the way. But I got mine because like when I travel, there's maybe get it. I was a couple situations. I was on College Drive, right there by College and Foster. And I was about to cross the street. And I had to clear to go, and I had my cane, and somebody was coming. They didn't see the cane, and they slammed on their brakes so hard to where you could smell the tires burning. And I'm like, man, if I would have had a dog, they would have seen the dog better than the cane. So that's one thing. Another thing that the dog has done, like, so if there's a construction, she'll work me around construction. If I'm like in the airport trying to get from point A to point B, the dog will work around people. So I guess to put it in short, it's just she it's a lot of, I don't want to say less decision making on me, but she's kind of like she's kind of like the control tower. I just follow where she, what she believe, where she goes.
Right.
I just have to give her commands and things like that.
Right, and that's what I was gonna say. And upon speaking with a lot of other people who have had guide dogs, that a lot of people who see blind people traveling with guide dogs, they just think that the dog knows the way and everything. You don't have to give it commands. But I'm glad you had spoken up and stated that you have to have commands. You have to actually know where you are going first of all before the dog could lead you. Am I correct?
Yes, sir. That's
now,
correct.
Having a guide dog, as I mentioned, you you become emotionally attached, because it is basically your eyes, and you actually, you love on it, and you give it the care, and take care of the dog in the way that it's you supposed to. So it becomes like, part of the family. So speak on that in terms of how you have made your dog Margie, right,
Yep.
a part of your family, in terms of nurturing it, and just loving on it.
So when I went to guide dog school, I went in there with one motto and one philosophy that I was going to treat Marjorie like a child. I don't have a child, but I was going to treat her like as if as if she was my child. And I think like so when we got back from guide dog school and while I was in guide dog school, like I put her first, and I think that's the key to success, right? You have to
Mm,
put your dog first. And a lot of people that have not went through this, it's very difficult for them to kind of understand that. What I mean by putting your dog first, well,
mm,
you have to look at your dog. You have to see, okay, she's stressed out today. How is she feeling? How is she doing? Is she getting enough playtime? Is she getting a lot of work time? Is it too hot for her outside? Keeping up with the training that you got from the school, all working, but also having downtime with her, because at the end of the day, after work, she was a dog. So I guess for me, it was just putting her first, and that's really everything at my house. Like when I brought her home, she earned every privilege. So, because when you bring them home, you have to keep them on the leash with you for 2 weeks to kind of see what they're going to do. And, my dog knew that if she was good, she didn't get into nothing, she wasn't going to get on the leash. But if she ever like, went into anything, she got back on the leash. You know what I mean? Like, but she knew that, right? And I think, people have different dogs, and I think every dog is different. But mine was just, I don't know, special. Like I don't know, man. Like sometimes I just think that she's just human because we could read each other. Well, like everything, man. Like body language, tone, everything. Like she knew exactly what I was feeling. She knew exactly everything. Everything. It's kind of crazy. Like even the instructors at the school, they were like, "Man, like you got your special dog because we haven't seen one like that in a long time."
can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, cool. So yeah, so you can, to my audience, you can definitely see how these animals can become, you can allow them to become a very important part of your life. Is this your first dog that you have had? And
Yeah, that's why it's so hard. Um, I talked to a lot of people, 'cause I have a lot of friends that are guide dog users, and even they have a person at the school that it's a counselor that deals with this kind of thing,
mm,
and they said the first one's always the hardest because you don't really have nothing to kind of, I don't want to say compare, but you don't have something to kind of look back on, So you're always gonna look at this one, because it's the first one,
now,
and
have you spoken with any individuals at the school to basically give you some advice in terms of how to deal with situations like this?
yeah, I have. I mean, they said that it's going to be a lot of crime. They did tell me that. They told me to really focus on the positive aspect, and I think now that I'm actually talking to you about see, the retirement, Anthony, is not the sad part. I
Mm,
mean, that's a little sad, right?
mm,
But for 7.5 years, I mean, it's kind of like you see the fruits of your labor.
right,
7.5 years, my dog got up every day and did the work, not because she had to do it, but she did it out of love. And
right,
that's one thing. That's something that you can sit here and you can understand. You know what? It's good for her to retire, right? She earned that gold star. She earned that crown.
right. Yeah, positive. So you can look at it in a positive manner. I like it. Go ahead.
But the difficult part and the part that I'm struggling with is the retirement plan. Where she's going to go. And I'm very picky on that because I put a lot of work to um, keeping up with the training and make sure that she had, that she was taken care of. And everybody said, "Oh, I want her." But here's the real question, though: are they willing to take on this responsibility? And it's a big responsibility because, I mean, you know, you can't just leave for 2 days and leave your dog at the house. Like, my dog's not an outdoor dog.
Mhm,
Like, she's been raised inside.
mhm. Now, when you speak of responsibilities, let everybody know because we have some new people that have just
Mhm.
joined us. What do you mean responsibilities? Just talk briefly about what has to when you retire a dog, what has to take place for those individuals who are interested in taking a dog
Well,
of that character.
financial responsibility. So you have to take the dog to the vet. So you do have that. You have to feed the dog. Water. Give her some water. Play with it. Make sure that you have an adequate space for the dog, and things like that.
Mhm.
Like, so, I mean, there's just a lot that kind of plays into it.
And these dogs are not and we're speaking of guide dogs right now, are not outside dogs, right?
Correct.
Mhm. Okay. Now I want to fast forward to this point in terms of you're about to retire your dog. What name give some of the factors that you take into consideration before you actually allow that person to say, okay, I want to take this dog and allow it to live with me for the duration of its life.
Well, I know some people, they're gonna laugh at me when I say
No,
it, but
this no, this ain't. We're no
I know.
judgmental. Yeah, go ahead.
The main thing for me, man, is trust, right? And if I don't feel good about the person, that's a red flag. Okay. So I have to, trust, right? I look at financial. I look at, you know, well, I don't ask their financial detail, but I ask, hey, are you working or something?
Mhm,
Something broad, because I don't want to get, because I know how people are with that. They're kind of weird. But I just kind of look at, if they have a home, and what their life routine is like, and what like what they're gonna do with my dog. Like, distance is a factor. If they're gonna let me visit the dog, that's another different. That's another factor that's very important to me. Are they willing to accept an indoor dog? That's another one.
mhm,
And you kind of put all that together. It's like almost conducting an interview, Anthony, in the small sense,
mhm,
or should I say background, whatever.
mhm.
And you kind of look at it in a big way, and that's hard.
I bet it is. Now, how has the process come thus far? Have you found any individuals who are interested in taking your dog?
I
Or
found a couple. Her puppy raisers want her, and I have to really think on that because they live all the way in Washington State, and it's not that I don't want them with her, but they live so far out that I have to think about, dude, that's almost an 8-hour travel day on a plane, mind you. So if I want to go visit her, like, that's that's wicked far. Like, you know, if I knew somebody on the eastern side of the country, like Rhode Island, Massachusetts, Connecticut, New York, New Jersey, Maine, Maryland, that's easier to get to because all those states are kind of interconnected.
okay, now, but let me stop you right there. In,
Go
in,
ahead.
in, in instances like that, and I'll just play the devil's advocate because, like I
Go
said, I've never been in a situation where
ahead.
I've
Uh
had a
huh.
guide. Are you thinking? You said Washington it will be too far, but the dog it's a perfect home. Aside from the travel for the dog, are you? Would you be? If I were to say, well, you're being selfish in terms of thinking of yourself as opposed to what the dog would like. What's best for for the animal, or am I wrong? Let me know.
No,
You
I
know.
mean, I think some people could say that, and they could challenge me on that, and that's fine. But I don't think I'm being selfish because that's the only person that's really showed a true interest. Now, another tricky thing that I didn't really say, I haven't seen these people in their home.
Right.
And that's another piece. Like I want to go up there and actually see their home. Like, where's she gonna be at? Like, is it a clean home or is it some dirty home? Like,
Mm,
and I think I have a right to to feel like that.
right. That's right.
You know,
Mm,
and so that's another piece that kind of goes into it. Like, if I had to, I would do it, but I have to evaluate. I'd have to evaluate, like the environment. And I had a lady from church that wants to take her, but it's like, at that, like, I don't really feel comfortable with her. Like to me, it's trust, and I have this thing like if my gut, eh, if I don't
instinct.
feel right, if it ain't in it, I ain't doing it. Like, I just
Okay.
don't feel with it.
Well, how long do you have
I have
before you
I have no idea, bro. I have
before
no.
you okay because you know I was about to go.
Yeah,
But
I mean,
now, if okay, do you have to? And let me stop for a second. If y'all have any questions, y'all please put them in the comments. I welcome those. We both welcome those. But do you have to have your first dog or your previous dog retired before you're able to get another one, or you can get another one as well, even though that one you've retired the first dog that
I
you had.
mean, I can do it. I can do it either way. I just it really don't make a difference. Because all the schools communicate with each other. So I mean, I applied. I applied to Seeing Eye, and I applied where I got Marjorie from. So I don't have no shame in that. Now, um, the way that this process is going to go for me, everybody does the retirement process different. But the way I'm going to do it is I'm not giving any whoever earns that opportunity to take on Miss Marjorie. They ain't gonna get Miss Marjorie until I get a class date to get my successor dog, and that's the
But
way I'm doing that.
you have to, is that the proper
No,
procedure? Or
no,
you
no.
can't
I
keep.
have a choice. I have a
No, I'm saying
choice.
my question is you can't have two dogs. Is what I'm saying.
No,
Like you
I
have.
can't have. No, no, no. I cannot have two. You're actually.
That's one.
Would you
Yeah.
absolutely? I'm sorry. Yeah, you're absolutely right about that. I can't have two. But the way I handle the retirement of the process of from one to two, I have a choice.
Gotcha. Okay. Now, what one might ask, why can't the school that you had gotten Marjorie from, why can't they take them back and then they find a proper place instead of putting it all on you? You see
I
what I'm
mean,
saying?
they could. They could. That is an option.
Uh huh.
That would be harder on me because I wouldn't know what would be the final outcome. You see what I'm saying?
Right. Go
So,
ahead.
and I guess like I don't know. Like for me, like I thought about that, but then I'm like, okay, they're gonna come get her, and that's gonna be harder on me because then I would be like, so where did she end up at? And those people don't know me, so the school's like the middleman at that point. And I don't know. Like I love the school I got her from, but like if I want to visit her, since they don't know me, like that's gonna be a harder thing to kind of establish. Does that
Mhm.
make sense?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Makes a lot of sense. We're speaking with well, I'm speaking with my man Demetrius, who has had a guide dog of 7 years. Miss Marjorie is what she is named, and she's about to retire her, or he's in the process of retiring and finding a home for her before he proceeds with his next guide dog. Now, if it's by this situation affecting you so much this go round, do you think it'll be easier the next time you retire your second guide dog, your third guide dog, fourth guide dog?
I mean, it may be, it may not, man. It just I don't know. I mean, I'm hoping it's not as hard. Um, but I learned a lot from. I mean, you always learn a lot from your first one, And the thing I learned about with this one, because I had family members that kept on telling me, "Oh yeah, when she retires, I'll take her. Just let me know."
Right.
And I think if I had to pick something, you can't trust people, and that's and that you just have to have a backup plan. And I wasn't expecting it to happen this soon.
Mm.
Um,
And
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
that was gonna be my next question. What determines whether it's time to retire a guide dog, and then second part is what age do they have to be retired?
Well, some guide dog. I'm gonna start with the easy stuff. The retired because of medical conditions. So when they get like really medically ill, like kidney failure or something like that, and those can retire young. Like there's no age limit for those. Um, and I've seen some people's guide dogs do retire because of unfortunate medical situations, right?
Mm,
A dog, in my case, we had no medical problems. You start noticing the signs at 9. Some people work their dogs until 10, but you get the warning signs. I mean, most of the time you get them at 9, sometimes 9.5, you
okay.
know. And so what determined it for me was, so we was working, her work ethic was good.
Mm,
Like still crossing okay, still her head was high, still, doing the work. Her
right.
her quality was good, but her speed was just, a little slower. And then she was sleeping more, just dragging her back feet, just, I mean, all those little things, and you kind of evaluate those. And I talked to my field representative, and she was like, "How old is your dog again?" I'm like,
Mm,
"Yeah, she's just turned 9." She's like, "Well, y'all been working for 7.5 years. So typically those dogs, they work for about 7, and you really worked her over the average, which is
right.
good.
It's time to let her go.
It's time to think about, the successor." And it made sense. I mean, it was hard, but it made sense.
And that's what I was going to ask you, because you asked, well, you answered the question, because I was thinking that if those are the signs that you see in her, it could be maybe something else aside from her ready to retire. But you clarify that. We're going to
Hmm.
take a question from Rebecca, and I'm going to try to pose it the best way she put it. She had wanted to know what other part one of the of the question is what oh, let's see. How does one apply for a service dog? So if you can answer that, then I'll come back with the second portion of the question.
So how does one apply for a service dog?
Mhm.
You got to pick the school that you want, or you can apply to different ones. Different schools have different requirements. You got to have cane skills. Not like, we're not looking for you to be a certified O&M specialist or anything
Mm,
like that, but you got to know how to cross streets correctly without sighted assistance. So without having a sighted guide with you. You gotta have a realistic plan for a dog. So because they ask on these applications, so what are the reasons for you getting a dog? Where do you travel with your dog? Like something around your area. So it could be a grocery store, fast food place, restaurant. Something about a half a mile to a mile, because you got to work that dog. So you got to have a routine. Like you can't just be a homebody. I guess
okay.
I'm sorry to put it that bluntly, but I'm just being honest. And you got to be in good physical health. So and you have to be considered. There's a certain visual acuity that they look for, and you have to meet those requirements. Some schools require references. You have to have good references, obviously, and then you have the final one. You have to have a clean environment for your dog. So if you have an apartment, because they do a home interview, you got to make sure that it ain't, you don't got stuff like papers and food on the floor. You got to
Right.
keep it
Clean.
neat.
Okay.
Yeah.
And,
Mhm.
and the second part is she wants to know if there's a percentage of acceptance between young children and adults.
I haven't seen a young child get accepted with a guide dog per se. Not saying that doesn't happen. I haven't. I don't know a school here in the United States that does that. I know a teenager. Um, he was a friend of mine. He was the youngest student in his class, and they made an exception for him because they based it on it was like emotional maturity or whatever. Like I think because the age is 18 to get it,
Mm, yeah.
to go in, and he was like 17, so they looked at like a lot of different things for him because he was young, but he ended up working out. So I guess to answer your question, as far as kids, Like young kids, I don't know any programs here in the states that do such a thing.
Okay, and she has another question, so
But
kind of like keep your answers
yeah,
brief. My man
sorry.
D, who that's okay, who is in the process of giving his dog up for retirement. She wants to know, have you ever run across an animal that had been trained in visual assistance and chronic medical conditioning? I think yeah, that's like you know.
Chronic medical conditions, like I know that there's some dogs that like push the wheelchairs and stuff like that, but there's different programs. I think it's Guiding Eyes that does secondary disabilities aside from the sight assistance dogs.
Mhm.
And Guiding Eyes is based out of New York. Um, that's the only one that I know that does something like that.
Okay, she has another one. Just
Hmm.
send a man. I got you, Rebecca. Is there a specific type of dogs? I'm gonna paraphrase that are used for this particular service.
Yeah, specific breeds. Yes, they use golden retrievers. They use black labs. They use yellow labs. They use the lab and golden cross, and they also use shepherds, German shepherds.
Okay,
And
and
that
that,
school does a poodle. There's one school that does a poodle, but that's not as common. That's one school though.
and Danny, he just wanted to comment and said he would have thought that you would still be entitled to keep the dogs. When they retire. He
I
just
mean, yeah, I'm entitled to keep. Danny, I appreciate your question and statement. Thank you. I'm entitled to keep the dog. Like, I don't want to throw that misconception out there. But here's the thing. Um, I'm in a small like apartment,
right. It'll be
and
kind of
as number one. Number two, since me and my dog are so attached, when I go first of all, I have to find somebody that can take care of this dog while I'm in training for 3.5 weeks or whatever.
true, true.
That's number one. And number two, when I get the new dog, I'm gonna have to bond with the new dog. And my first dog
Get
is
jealous.
gonna be she's gonna be looking at me like, hello.
What is you doing?
Right.
Yeah.
So just want to be fair. Now if I had a big old house with a backyard and a pool and stuff,
Mm.
I mean we could make something work.
Because the reason why Danny said this, he said just what we were talking. Said there's a guy in Australia, one of his friends that had kept his dog, and you kind of clarified that if he had the space and everything. So if you had the space and what have you, you could retire that dog and keep it, but still entitled to. Because I had asked you earlier about that, you still are entitled can get your second dog, correct? Or you have to just get rid of that dog.
No, I mean you can no, I mean you can keep it. You just gotta have the adequate space for it. I'm sorry if I didn't clarify properly the first time, but yeah, I mean the way how you handle the retirement dog is all up to you. I mean you can keep it. They don't care about all that, but with my situation alone, speaking on me, I don't. It just wouldn't be fair, and I don't have a lot of space for that for
Okay.
two of them.
And I want to ask a question before I get into Rebecca's next question. I'm
Yes,
coming
sir.
to you, Rebecca. Um, how are these dogs funded? I mean, who pays for the individuals to like you or anyone else
Uh,
who's getting the dog? Who pays for it?
so it's all donations. All
Okay.
these companies are nonprofit. I don't know if they get grants or anything, but I know it's a lot of donations. And when you get accepted, they pay for your transportation. They pay for you to stay at the school. You get 3 gourmet meals a day, like really gourmet meals.
Uh-huh.
So like you don't have to pay a penny out of your pocket. And it's all through donations. People donate big money over there to all these organizations.
And you and one more question,
Mhm.
Rebecca, if I get to, and you mentioned like the checks, like in terms of what they look for before they allow a individual to get a guide dog. They
Mhm.
definitely do background checks too, as well, right?
I
Like you
don't
can't
know,
be.
man. I don't know what they do with that, man. Honestly, because I never signed no background paperwork.
Uh,
But see, their background, they ask you. I mean, I don't know what they do with it, but they ask you if you've been ever convicted of a felony.
yeah, that part.
So they do ask that, and I don't know how they verify. But the way they verify a lot of stuff is through everybody does it different, but it's a lot through references, talking to you, and actually physically visiting you.
Yeah.
So that's their way of doing it, right? And
Mm.
based on all that, they're like, yay or nay.
Okay. Rebecca wanted to know: have you ever seen any guide dogs? Seen any service dogs that were trained in epilepsy? No. Yes.
As for the blood sugar stuff, I mean, part of my
I, I think like
the
people have
diabetes.
seizures
Oh,
and stuff.
seizure alert
Yeah.
dog. Okay,
Yeah.
I know that they exist. I haven't came across one.
Come again?
Oh, you want me
Re-
to repeat? You
yeah.
want me to
Repeat because I was typing. Say it again.
I'm sorry. I said I haven't came across one. I know that they do exist, but I haven't personally came across one.
Okay. Well, man, I know this is kind of hard. This is hard for you because, like as I mentioned, I hadn't had a dog, a service dog. I had a Rottweiler, and man, I mean, it was like my guide dog because she knew I was visually impaired. I don't know how dogs can sense a lot of things. She and I we created a great bond. The only time I separated from her was when she was like a puppy. I went to California for some time. She came back. Still remember who I was. I guess I had the same scent, everything. But man, when she passed away, she had puppies. But when she passed away, man, I was like, dang. And I didn't get no more. It's like about 2 weeks ever since 2001. I didn't get any more animal at all after that because I just didn't want to become attached to it. And you don't mean to, but it just happens because it just you just you're dealing you're around them every day and you just create that bond. So I strongly understand how you feel. You have any last little comments and words you want to say?
Um, I mean, whatever people believe in, if it's prayer, good vibes, all that, send them my way. Cause this is hard. Like, I didn't think it was gonna hit me this deep, but it's hit me deep. Now I said not because that she retired. I mean, that's already been dealt with, but it's like finding her home and that I guess like I said, man, that's the harder piece. So send those good vibes. 'Cause I'm kind of feeling myself slipping into a depression, and I don't want that. I'm hoping to get accepted quickly into the one of the guide dog schools, so that way the transition can kind of just smooth over nice and quick.
Now
You
you
know
know
what I
what that
mean?
sounds like, huh? As I interrupt you right quick, that's
Go
like if
ahead.
you're in a relationship with a female and you lose that one, you want to hurry and jump back into another one,
Oh,
so you won't
well,
have to feel that pain.
I
But
mean,
I feel what you're saying. I'm just trying to
that
bring
is
some.
true though. That is true, but I mean, I guess like yeah, that is true. But with me knowing me, like with this, I know if I don't get another one right away, I'm probably not going to get one again if it don't happen quickly because I'm going to grieve too much. I'm going to get caught up in that grieve, and that's what I'm. That's what I don't want to do. Is get caught up in the grieving. Because when you get caught up in that,
Mm,
you're so far deep in that it's hard to get yourself out.
I understand that. Um. So, you have the dog with you now. Why don't you show before as we come to a conclusion? Show everybody what the dog looks like
There
and
she is. She just kind of laying on the
describe it to
floor.
my blind audience,
So
if you
she's a
may.
black lab. Oh, hey, Marjorie. Come here. Sit. So she's a black lab. She has brown eyes. So she was sleeping and then she heard her name, something, and she just got up.
And
And
how
now
tall
she
is
just and now she just went,
she? How tall is she?
somewhere. She's about 22 inches.
Mm,
She's about 65 pounds. I call her travel size. I mean, she's like a rocket, you
okay.
know.
Well, I hope coming on here has helped out really, and that was my main focus, man. You my boy, and I can't
Yeah.
have my guests, people who I I develop a relationship with, what I'm saying, to be feeling what they feeling about any issues and whatnot. And this, like I said, this show is a show that allows people to come on and share whatever it is that's relatable with my audience or whatnot. So, did this help any? Yes or no?
It did. It did. I mean, I think that's going to help a lot with, just talking and getting it out. Because some people that, it's difficult for one to understand, right? So,
Mhm.
um, it did help, man.
Thanks,
I'm,
man.
thankful. I mean, I don't even know what time I put that camera. I don't care. I know I was up. I saw it. I was like, yeah, I'll do it.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. But you always jump to the occasion. That's and I
Oh,
appreciate that.
yeah.
So, you have anyone who's in the process of going what you going through as far as with their dog? being put up for retirement. Give them some advice, man. Any, because I know you've developed a little strength throughout this time. What would you like to say to them?
Look at the positives.
There you go.
That's the best thing. Is look at the positives and just try to take it one day at a time. That's really what I try to do. Even though there's crying moments, and I always tell people, you gonna cry. Like that's natural. Even after you process that retirement is the best thing, you still gonna cry.
Yeah,
You know,
I feel you on that, man. For real.
because like I said, man, like we worked 7.5 years, and she did all that out of love,
Yeah,
and I think that's what gets me to cry more because I mean she was really such an angel, a sweet dog, always working hard, man. Just and so I mean, so you can have emotional days, man, but just try to stay positive and come up with a retirement plan, like I said, and you know, um, and work it through, and all that, you know.
I'm feeling you on that, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm feeling you. I can hear it in your voice. But before you know, get too emotional, man. I'm gonna hold it right there. I want to thank all my subscribers, all my new subscribers. I hope y'all go to my YouTube channel and check out some more shows. And y'all newcomers, please subscribe because I can't just do this just for the hell of it. I want y'all to learn and understand and whatnot. Please share it on your other platforms and whatnot. And thank you, Demitrious. Anytime you want to come on and share stories, man, you're welcome to do so. And I wish you the best in your retiring, finding process and what have you. And again, you all, thanks for tuning to Third Eye Visions, where we motivate the blind, stimulate your mind, and welcome all kind. And before we leave, say something in Greek to our audience, those who can understand.
Um, Alright. Γεια σας, ευχαριστώ Anthony που με έβαλε σήμερα να μιλήσω στο πρόγραμμά σου. Αυτό το πρόγραμμα που έχεις κάνεις πολύ καλή δουλειά και να το συνεχίζεις. So basically, what I said was, hello everybody, Anthony, thanks for bringing me on your show. I had a great time. You do a great show, and to keep up the good work.
All right. Make sure you share it, my boy. See you later, man.
All right. Bye-bye.
Let me see what we got. Hold on.